Long ago, in the outskirts of Baghdad, there lived a young man named Yusuf. He was poor, so poor that many nights passed with nothing but water and prayers to fill his hunger. Yet, inside him burned a flame brighter than gold, the flame of faith and honesty. Yusuf's daily work was simple. He watered gardens, cleaned wells, and carried heavy buckets for people in exchange for a few copper coins or pieces of bread. He never complained. Every time he earned even a single coin, he would look up at the sky and whisper, "Greater than, Alhamdulillah, for whatever my Lord has given." The golden coin. One scorching afternoon, the sun hung like fire over the dusty fields. Yusuf was working in the orchard of a wealthy landowner named Hakim. After hours of hard labor, his shirt drenched in sweat, Yusuf gathered his tools to leave. As he bent down to lift his bucket, something glimmered in the sand, a gold coin. He looked around. No one was there. The wind was quiet. Even the birds had hidden from the heat. Yusuf picked up the coin. It shone in his palm, beautiful and heavy, enough money to feed him and his mother for months. His heart began to whisper, "Greater than, if I keep it, no one will ever know. My mother needs medicine. We've had nothing but dry bread for days." But then, another voice rose from within him. The voice of his Iman, faith. "Greater than, what is not yours will never bring you peace. Allah is watching, even when no one else is." Yusuf closed his fist tightly and took a deep breath. He turned back toward the landowner's house. The test of truth. Hakim, the old landowner, was sitting in the shade of his large house when Yusuf approached. "Master," Yusuf said softly, "I found this coin in your orchard. I believe it belongs to you." Hakim looked at the coin, then at the young man's face. For a moment, he said nothing, only stared. Then, slowly, a smile spread across his wrinkled face. "Yusuf," he said, "I dropped that coin on purpose. I wanted to see if you were truly as honest as people say." Yusuf was shocked. "You tested me." "Yes," said Hakim, "and you passed." He stood, reached into his robe, and pulled out a small leather pouch. Inside were 10 gold coins. He placed it in Yusuf's hands. "This is not a reward," Hakim said. "This is the value of your truth. Gold can buy food, but honesty buys barakah, blessing." Tears welled in Yusuf's eyes. He said humbly, "I only did what was right. Allah sees every action, that is enough reward for me." Hakim smiled, touched by his sincerity. "Then allow me to make sure you never go hungry again," he said. "From today, you will work for me permanently, not as a laborer, but as my assistant." Time passed. Yusuf continued to work with the same honesty and patience that had guided him that day. He never lied, never cheated, and never let greed enter his heart. People in the village began to say, "Greater than, if you want to know what trust looks like, look at Yusuf." Years rolled by, and when old Hakim finally grew weak and sick, he called Yusuf to his bedside. "My son," he said, his voice trembling, "when I found you, I only saw a poor boy. But today, I see a man of taqwa, piety, rich in ways the world cannot see." He handed Yusuf a parchment, the deed to his entire orchard and home. "I leave this to you. Because honesty deserves inheritance." Yusuf fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. "Master, I cannot take this." Hakim smiled faintly. "You already earned it the day you returned that coin." Moments later, Hakim passed away peacefully, his face calm, as though smiling in the remembrance of Allah. The blessing of truth. Under Yusuf's care, the orchard flourished more than ever before. He used the wealth not for luxury, but to feed the poor, help orphans, and build a small school where children could learn to read the Quran. People often asked him, "Greater than, Yusuf, how did you become so blessed?" And he would reply, with a gentle smile, "Greater than, a single honest act can open the gates of 1,000 mercies. When you choose truth over gold, Allah gives you both, and much more." Years later, when Yusuf himself became old, children would gather around him under the shade of the same trees he once watered. He would tell them softly, "Greater than, the real treasure is not the coin you find, but the truth you return." And so, his story became a lesson, a reminder passed down through generations in Baghdad, that faith and honesty are worth more than 1,000 pieces of gold. Honesty may not make you rich instantly,